So we just got an update about oncoming Hurricane Laura. And as many people know, it's anticipated to be a Category 3 hurricane. We need to be prepared for the possibility that it could increase to be a Category 4 hurricane. A lot of people in the weather sector have repeatedly said that this is something that's going to be very similar to Hurricane Ike and Hurricane Rita. So people who have memory banks that relate to that can remember what that was like, and this should be very much like this. It likely, however, will not be a replication of Hurricane Harvey. Houston and parts west of Houston fall within that area of the danger zone of what will be very high winds, including high winds very far inland. We are anticipating high winds well up into East Texas, including the Nacogdoches area, including the Tyler, Longview area, maybe all the way up to Texarkana, dealing with tropical storm force winds. This will be a fast-moving storm, or at least it's slated to be, meaning that after it comes ashore, we expect it to be out of the state of Texas after about a day. That said, there will be a lot of devastation wreaked upon Texas as the storm sweeps through, especially East Texas, as well as lingering challenges that will result. There will be a water surge of perhaps as high as 10 feet wherever the hurricane comes ashore, and a little bit less than that in areas adjacent to where the eye of the hurricane will come ashore. There will be a lot of rain and a lot of rainfall through this cone-based area. And the rain will lead to river flooding as well as flash flooding, and people need to be very aware both as they work to travel about, but also as they work to try to protect their property. There will be tornadoes that will be spawned because of the hurricane and the winds and the storms that will be sweeping through the area. It's going to be going through regions of the most wooded regions in the state of Texas. And because of the high winds that are expected, one thing that is forecasted and predicted is a large number of trees being blown down and falling. And so people need to be very aware of this particular danger, and that's one reason why we are grateful that we have the assistance of the Texas A&M Forest Service to help us work through the challenges that will occur because of the wind impact on trees. There already have been announced some mandatory evacuations as well as some voluntary evacuations. If you are subject to one of these evacuation orders, you need to be doing all you can to make sure that you take the action that needs to be taken to protect your life. Those who stay behind may be caught in a situation where rescue teams may be challenged in being able to rescue from a situation that could cause you to lose your life. So please heed local warnings so that you can take the action in advance that is needed. There are already several evacuation centers that are set up and operational and or will be operational later today. Also at this time, I am making an additional disaster declaration for 36 more counties in the state of Texas. Just because a hurricane is coming to Texas does not mean that COVID-19 either has or is going to leave Texas. COVID-19 is going to be in Texas throughout the course of the hurricane. As a result, everyone must ensure that they protect their lives also from contracting COVID-19. One of the safe ways you can do that if you're having to evacuate is to try to evacuate to a hotel or motel room so that you and your family members can be isolated from others with whom you could come into contact with whom you could contract COVID-19. I think we need to pause for a moment and recognize, and that is today is the 3rd year anniversary of when Hurricane Harvey struck the state of Texas. At that time and for many days following that, Texas was battered, we were bruised, but we were not broken. The spirit of Texans came together and with tremendous resiliency responded to the devastation that was wreaked by Hurricane Harvey. They engaged in uniting together to rebuild. And in the months and years following that, with their tireless work, they elevated Texas back up to be the #1 state in the United States of America for the most new jobs created, as well as the fastest growing gross domestic product in the United States. I have no doubt that the response of Texans in response to both this oncoming hurricane as well as in the pandemic, traditional Texas resiliency and perseverance will once again elevate us as we respond to this challenge.